everybody, it's Old School Nerd. Okay, I'm losing my mind here. Okay, so we did the reaction to the new one, Falling Back to You, and then I watched an interview that Lauren Babic, the lead singer of Red Handed Denial, did with Tori Reacts. And the interview answered so many amazing questions about the direction of the band and where the album was, the thoughts behind the album, and how crazy tour was for them they just had with Unprocessed. But I still have more questions, specifically about the fact that the interview that Tori did with Lauren was before the album came out. The album is out. I've listened to it, and I have more questions that even Tori couldn't cover. Now, below in the description, I will have a link to Tori's interview with Lauren. Please check it out. Amazing information. They have a great conversation. But I have my own questions, and there's only one person I know that I can ask these questions to. Damn it, I'm going to make a Zoom call to Tennessee right now. Hey everybody, my name is Old School Nerd. My favorite person that lives in Tennessee is online.
Hello.
Don't
Here
tell.
I am.
You know how many people we both know that live in Tennessee, and I just totally just bombed them out.
You just exposed everybody,
I
but
know.
we won't tell them.
Yeah, and they don't watch my channel, so it's fine. Oh gosh, how are you doing?
Good. It's a big day. Today is obviously the release day of the new album, and it's a good day. I'm trying to take the day and just enjoy it and try to not go on the internet and consume myself with all that, but just enjoying it and celebrating.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it.
Yes.
This album is killing me. It's absolutely killing me.
In what way? I'm sorry. I'm either sorry or
No,
or I'm
don't
not
be sorry. Don't be sorry, because I was talking 3 weeks ago that Unleash the Archer's new storytelling album out of British Columbia was the greatest story in an album so far this year. And then here you guys come along, and I'm like, fuck! It's like, and that's kudos to both bands in both of these projects. They did something out of their comfort zone. They're known for their speed, their musicianship, it's Unleash the Archers. And they did something that was soulful and creative and almost was like some Rush storytelling about dystopian futures. And then here comes Red Handed Denial, east side of Canada, going, okay, so we're going to step out of our comfort zone. We'll do some songs to start the album that make you feel like, oh, wow, it's, you know, I'd rather be asleep 2.0. And then it just goes completely... And then it's so good, Lauren. Holy crap.
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm really excited.
I did watch your interview with Tori Reacts, and she's so genuine. She's so amazing. And I got to meet her and her husband, and they're so real. They're such real people. She asked you some great questions that rather than me repeat some of those questions, since the album is now out,
It's out now.
I would love to talk a little bit more about the album, since you can't say, oh, well, I can't really talk about it yet. No, you could talk. So
I can talk now.
Right now, right above our heads, actually it's above your head, there's a little tab that people can go and watch Tori's interview with you, because there's some amazing information about the process you guys did for this album. But now that it's here, let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
Now, you mentioned to me in Houston, which I saw the band live in Houston. And you did kind of mention to me that One More Night is one of your favorite songs in the album. But this was before I heard I Hope You're Happy at Home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, you mentioned that people should try to sit down and listen to the whole album together as one story arc to see how it transpires. What was y'all thought about that? Because this is a crazy ride, because there's some stuff in here that we're going to talk about 5 minutes that you're going to go, yeah, we did.
Yeah, so we had a lot of back and forth about like what order to put the songs in, because obviously like we're a band that's dynamic. Like we're okay with like just saying anything goes, fuck it. But with this album, it's like the most extreme like roller coaster ride that we've ever really taken anyone on with our music, because we just introduce even more genres that we haven't even touched on yet. So we were struggling with like, okay, what are the singles? What order do we put things in? And this, like the way the album is now, like it makes the most sense, and it just takes you on this ride of like you have songs like Parasite and Smokescreen, and then you have I Hope You're Happy and Home, which is like completely it it's a completely different genre, but still the same band, still the same story. And I think like that's one of the things I'm most proud of with this album because it's still quintessential us, but it's so like such a deep album.
In the background, the album is playing, and it's now starting track 5. Which, when I heard it, I went, "Is this 23 centimeter nails?"
Uh-huh.
Because y'all are Canadian. Um, we go metric here. So that caught me off guard, obviously.
Mhm.
But I just let's run through the tracks. You say the name of the song. We'll go in order, and I'll tell you the first thing I thought, and see if it makes sense. Because I was like, "Wow, okay." So first track is "Parasite."
Parasite.
I thought, okay, this is the song first of the list. It's going to remind all of our Red Handed Denial fans, yes, this is who we are. This is what you expect. It's that energy, it's that creativity, it's the power, it's almost every song of I'd Rather Be Asleep, except for Colors Fade to Gray, was always such a fun ride.
Mhm.
And Parasite had that feel to it. And then we get to My Demise. And I'm like, what's going on here? Why are we dancing so much? And it
Yeah.
was it was so much fun. It was like a little taste, an amuse bouche, if you will, of the creativity that was going to be different. What was the first track where you guys really said, you know, we haven't done it a bit? Let's do some electronic. Let's put some EDM. I mean, it's so much fun. We see everybody in all the metal bands in Europe are really diving into it. Who came up with that idea to start injecting this in this album?
Well, I think we already kind of were doing that with Father Said. Like we had the 80s vibes and then we loved it. Like we loved doing that and we love songs like we love bands like Dayseeker and Electric Callboy. Like we love those bands and also old Attack Attack and like Abandon All Ships. Like we love that shit. So we wanted to make a perfect baby of like things we love, but also things we haven't done, but also things that we haven't really heard. So we haven't really heard a lot of actual EDM because I think, you know, bands like Dayseeker have synthwave dialed in. Bands like Electric Callboy have Euro
That
dialed in.
that techno.
Techno and Euro, but like we haven't really heard like Zed inspired or like David Guetta or Avicii kind of songs. So that's stuff I used to listen to a lot back in like the early 2010s. So I think when we started working on One More Night, like I kind of it was the first time I actually got to physically play synths on a keyboard and I was messing around with like the intro and I was like let's do like Zed and
That little
and
echo style, that callback.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that stuff.
And then all of a sudden, like One More Night has a million genres all in one song and um just fusing all that and making it make sense, but also making it still red-handed denial. It kind of just all fell into place very nicely. Thank goodness. But I think that was the song where we're like, all right, let's really start to bring in um the EDM vibes and the industrial vibes. Because Chris, this is the first time he is co-producer on a Red Handed Denial album, and he went to engineering school. He's full producing now for bands, and he also comes from like an EDM lo-fi world as well. So why not bring in those influences that we haven't yet? Um, So you kind of hear that through like One More Night, Falling Back to You, the two interludes, Smoke Screen, like you hear it all throughout.
I think one of the things that's really interesting is I know you had mentioned before, and it's pretty well known that for years, for a lot of the music before this, Chris was kind of a driving music writer and a creative
Yeah.
music force. And it's funny, he gets more quote unquote power as a co-producer, but yet he opens that door this time and says, "Okay, Tyson, bring whatever it is that you, yeah, bring your stuff." Lauren has her stuff. Of course, Dominick, his vibe is completely different. And you could tell, you could just see it's like a big bowl of gumbo, which is a Cajun reference,
It
but it's
is.
got a little bit of everything, but it works. It really, because I guess it's like the voice of a group of friends that is almost family, where once you reach that
Yes.
point, everyone's on the same page, but yet everyone speaks with a different accent. And
It's true.
it's fun. It was really fun. Tell me about Falling Back to You, because I just recorded that reaction. And that was a lot of movement of people across the screen like this.
There's
That-
a lot of that.
That was so much fun to see. And hats off to Chris. He's in such an enviable position because he's so creative. He has so much love of this music. He does so much. You see his energy. I mean, he literally looks like a kid playing air guitar to his favorite band as a kid. And we missed him on the tour, and we know
We
why. And thank God you had someone like Gerard who can literally just say, you know what? I'm going to carry this mantle for my buddy. And he did such a great job. But you can just see Chris's love of this. And it really came through on this video. This song, to me, Falling Back to You, reminds me of Fix Me. Just in the way that it has such an energy and it shifts between what could be quick, powerful, but yet it's fun to it, in the musical sense to it. Why'd y'all pick this one for a single, especially the single to come out on the release day?
We were thinking like, is this the song? Because it's obviously very radio friendly. Obviously, like, you know, I'm sure that we'll get the clap back of like, this is so formulaic, blah blah blah, but whatever. I don't know. It's just a really good song, and it's really catchy. The lyrics mean a lot to me. The message behind it is just, it's simple, but it's very, it just comes from the heart. And we did miss Chris on the tour, and him being in the videos and us spending that weekend filming all those videos.
It was 5 videos in a
Yeah.
weekend, right?
Yeah, so the 4 that we've seen, that was all in one weekend.
I
And
saw Tyson. He was like, "Oh my God."
yeah. So we were like, I think Falling Back to You is actually the last video that we did of the weekend. Chris loves music. Like at the end of the day,
Obviously.
it was hard to be there without him. But when we came back, we had a big, video call just to kind of like talk about the tour. And we were just like, Chris, like, we really missed you, but we still had fun. So I felt guilty. I was like, oh my God, we're doing this without Chris, because he is the core of the band at the end of the day. Like, I think even him having that official title of co-producer, he's always been co-producer. And even though maybe he put the guitar leads away a little bit for this album, he stepped into his own as an audio engineer and a just overall songwriter and producer. We missed him, but he was like, I am so happy that you guys had a good time. And he was like, I didn't know how I was gonna feel seeing you guys go play, because that's, at the end of the day, he loves performing. But he was like, so happy to see us on the road having fun. And he was like, it felt so good watching you guys like go and play the songs. So it was like it was a very, very bittersweet moment, like, to be there without him. But
And again, hats off
happy.
to Gerard for being able to just pick that up.
Yeah.
And really not you're not going to take Chris's place, but he honored that.
Yes.
He brought the energy, the musicianship, obviously, that if you have to have the right guitarist to fill Chris's spot. If you listen to any Red Hand in Denial, Chris does not screw around at all. I mean, Tyson fools around. Chris does not. Okay. Now we go to the one that's going to make people, if they listen to this album, the first time they hear this, they're going to literally go, what the hell? Where's
What's
Lauren?
going on?
Where,
Yeah.
Is Lauren? No, no, Lauren. When did Trent Reznor join the band? So, okay, driving towards a neon sunset. An instrumental. Obviously, when people first hear it, if they think, they're automatically going to think of that genre of like a Nine Inch Nails or whatever.
Yeah,
What was the purpose behind this one, and why in this part of the album? Because it kind of puts a dividing line from what we
it
know
does.
into something we have no idea what's coming.
It's kind of like a symbolism to just the overall way the world is going. And if you could look at the album as like a complete story, like the first part is like, our struggles with social media and how we present ourselves. My demise being our like dependency and falling into these bad habits. Even though my demise is fun, it's like, oh, social media is super fun, but like look what actually is going on. And One More Night is like, yeah, but you know what? I'll stay a little while and I don't want to leave. And then falling back to you is like, oh, but this is really toxic. Um, and then driving towards a neon sunset is kind of like that moment of like, all right, we're going to a place that we don't really know what's gonna happen. And maybe it could be good, it could not be good, we don't really know. And it's kind of like that moment when you're in a video game, in like open world video games, and you're just driving in like GTA Vice City, and you're just like, oh, what's that over there? Let's go check that out.
And then you are dead, wasted.
Yes, dead.
Okay, so fair, but how is it that y'all are so really, really good at making? I don't want you use the word toxic. I'm gonna use it. Toxic themed themes, but yet you can make those songs extremely fun. I mean, come on. How can you make a song that is so musically fun like Fix Me and it be lyrically and subject matter so personal? And you did it again on this album multiple times. I don't know how y'all do this, but y'all are one of the best bands at that, which is one of the reasons why I love it. You can make it, you can literally disguise a song where somebody's vibing to a song, and after a while they're going,
And you're like, oh.
I'm reflecting about everything I've done wrong in my life.
I actually took a lot of notes from Paramore's After Laughter, and that to me is a masterful album of taking musicality that's like really fun and really funky, but then you listen to the lyrics and you're like, oh God, okay, so this is what's actually happening. And I think it was kind of perfect for this album because it tells the story on even that level. It's like, okay, we're vibing, we're having fun, maybe we're burying our heads in the sand a little bit, but then when we actually like step back a little bit, it's like, oh, okay, let's think a little bit.
So you do Smokescreen. And then just when you think we're kicking over, I look at the track list, 1 minute, 12 seconds. Some of my favorite bands of all time have those little interludes. They're not songs. They're almost like a shift. Almost like a stinger screen when you're streaming on Twitch and you got to go from screen to screen. You have that little stinger that pops up. It's like that, but on an album. Because we go from, and then I find myself in a virtual dystopia, to the most viciously power thrash metal intro to a song that immediately you realize, who pissed Lauren off?
Yeah.
Because, whoo.
Yeah, and we were struggling with how to order this. And we just, I think story-wise, we decided to sandwich Smokescreen because it's a very obvious turning point of the album, and it's quite literally the moment when, you might be playing Call of Duty and then all of a sudden a flashbang hits you.
Rage quit.
And then all of a sudden you go, oh shit. Like that's like quite literally what I wanted. And because obviously you hear Driving Towards the Neon Sunset and it's like, who is this band? What is happening? And then Smokescreen, we wanted Smokescreen to have its moment. And we were debating whether Smokescreen was going to be a single. And we were like, no, because if we just give Smokescreen away right away, it won't have that impact. And if we wrote a whole album of Smokescreens, then Smokescreen wouldn't be special and it wouldn't have its moment. So we wanted to give Smokescreen its moment. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to ask because I think everyone that's ever going to ask about this song is going to make sure of this. Okay, Eat Glass isn't about me, right?
It's not about you.
Thank God. Whew.
It's not. Um, I think there will be a lot of speculation about who Eat Glass is about. And the whole point of it, it's like, if you think this song's about you, it
It's
goes
not.
without saying.
It's
And it's like, um, it's my struggles with those with a platform who use it really, really, really poorly. And my philosophy is like, if you're not educated on a subject, or if you're going to be malicious or rude or bully, just shut up.
yeah.
Like, just stop talking. I think J.K. Rowling is a perfect example. Like, just shut up. Like, we would be so much better off if you just stop talking.
Yeah, it's
And
I
it's
agree
like
with you.
people like that who use a massive platform that they've garnered super irresponsibly. Like, I think when in this weird like influencer like world, we do have some level of responsibility on what we say, but also what we don't say. And that's kind of what Eat Glass is about. And
Mhm.
at the end of the day, it's like, just be a nice person. Like, it's free to be kind. It's free to be to just treat people like humans and with respect. And that's all that Eat Glass is about.
I mean, we look at people like a J.K. Rowling and her contribution to childhood literature and the subject matter and having, all these characters and these stories and everything. If it had stopped with just the works, it'd be fine. But
That's
then
it.
people get lost in it. And I think when you look at things like for myself at my age, it's easier for me to look back and go, okay, what should I say and what should I not say? So a lot of times I'll self-deprecate because it's easier than me being critical, even though I may have thoughts in my head that says, I don't know if I like that. But at the end of the day, I can make a decision from my platform going, okay, are you going to say ugly things about something because you don't like it? Or should you just keep your mouth quiet? And if you can't say nothing nice, then don't say it because you're not living that life. So
Has nothing to do with you.
exactly.
Like,
It's so
it
yeah.
at the end, it's like, are we expressing an opinion, or are we hate speeching? Like what's the line? And are
Yeah.
we spewing hate, or are we just stating an opinion? And I think there's a very stark line, and I think it's so easy to not cross the line because all we have to do is just stop. We have thoughts for a reason. Like,
Yeah.
I do believe in free speech, but I believe what we say with
You're responsible for.
especially you're responsible for what you say, and you're responsible for the people that you ostracize and hate. And if you have a platform, the hate that you are saying on your platform might influence others to do the same. And I think if we just spread less hate, the world would be a better place.
Yeah,
And
it's
we
the
could start there.
when I first started this, I there was no way that plate was going to be on my wall. There was no way that there would be a platform. It was just me trying to do something to burn off steam because of COVID. And I love music and I love playing music and I love the storytelling. And I'm an old school, grew up in the 70s, 80s when music was different. And I come back into things and I see all these young people creating such creative stuff. And my thought process was I had to come up with 3 rules when I started was no politics, no religion, no sex, period. Because those things have nothing to do with sharing music with people. If we're just talking about music, then let the music speak for itself. Let the artists speak for themselves. That's not my job. Not, I'd love to say that everyone should just go the electric callboy route and just be super happy, positive in everything you do, even if it involves death and dismemberment. You can still be happy, fun, and share love, but not everybody can pull that off. Those guys are geniuses how they do that. But yeah, sometimes you have to take a stand, but at the same time, you have to realize, will my words hurt more than they'll help?
Exactly. And it's such an interesting thing to see because right now there's so much happening in the world with foreign relations, but I don't have solutions for that.
Nope.
I am not the person to provide solutions. I am not educated on a lot of those things. So I shouldn't be saying much because I might spread misinformation
Yeah.
unknowingly, and I might be ignorant on something that I say, and at the end of the day, let the experts speak. Leave room for the voices who are educated in those spheres. And me as a musician, like
Yeah.
I'm so sensitive to just the things going on and the unfortunate things going on, and I don't have solutions. I
Um,
don't. And I think people are afraid to admit that. Like I do feel helpless as well, and I'm just, it sucks, but I can only do so much, and what I can do is try and bring joy and connection through the things that I am good at, and which is making music, and that's c'est la vie, you know?
I think it's very interesting that here I am, I'm 50 years old today. Don't tell nobody. But at my age, everyone expects me to be able to come to me and me share this wisdom. Because, when I was a kid, I'd go to my 50-year-old grandfather or whatever and ask him, and he had all the answers. I think my favorite gift is I do not have answers for that. Because I've
I
been
know.
there, like no matter what the conflicts are around the world, there's some 3 or 4 really big ones that everyone talks about. None of them are easy.
No,
All
they're
of them go
nuanced.
back thousands of years. Everyone has been screwed over at least 5 times each way in every which way. And you're letting people with little or no knowledge take these super harsh stands on it. And I'm like, I don't think it's like those things where you remember how we used to always be afraid to post something on social media a
Yeah,
couple of years ago because you knew that half the world was going to hate it? And we still live like that. You're
we
afraid to
still do.
post if you post your opinion, odds are 50% of the world's going to disagree with you. And those people spend a lot of time on the internet. So I was like,
They do. And I think that's just part of the problem is there's just so much discourse and so much noise that now being a consumer of all this and just watching it, it's information overload. Like how can we possibly process in our brains like all of this all at once? And that's like literally part of my struggle in the music is like I struggle with seeing all of this all at once, and I do find myself feeling very helpless a lot of the time, and never really knowing what to do. And I don't think anyone has answers right now. It's just we're trying to figure it out, and it's tough to watch.
I have a theory.
What is your theory?
I grew up before all this.
You
See,
did.
see, you're in the generation that you were born and raised in your childhood, the beginnings of it, and when it
Mm-hmm.
first started to take off. And then my kids, my young ones, they're completely immersed. And I
Yeah.
remember that when I was a young person, your world was literally your community because you didn't know
No.
everything, like every single detail of the world around you. But see, my children are global citizens. You
Mm-hmm.
you remember when it was sort of like the internet was this newfangled thing that was so immense we didn't get involved in it too much because it was scary, and now they're completely immersed, and I don't know how they do it and stay sane, and in some cases they don't. um, the young people are really assaulted by everything. And I
Oh,
remember when I could just disconnect. So sometimes I just tell my kids and I tell the people around me, even though I'm on a global platform, I try to keep my community. Let's just talk about it ourselves. Let's not get lost in too much because if you
yeah.
get lost, you're
It's a
literally
lot.
it's almost too much.
It's
I'm not
too
even on
much.
TikTok. I won't. I can't. Not it's not because I can't technically. I can. But I made the decision 3 years ago that yes, it's going to take me 3.5 years to get to 100,000 subscribers because I'm going to grow this slow, incrementally, because it wasn't my job. And I'm fortunate like that. When I see creators like yourself and, of course, Halcyon and people that we know, you and I know, we see the
Mhm.
struggles. We see how hard it is, how overwhelming it is just to keep up. So
Mhm.
I sit in the back going, I hope if there's anything I can do, I want to help, but I know that I can't do that.
No.
And
You
I don't know how
can't.
you do it. A friend of ours, a gentleman that we both know, him and I talk because we're both the same age. He's an artist, and he's like, it's so much. And I'm
Yeah.
like, how can I help? And he's like, you mean like a reaction? I'm like, no. We're the two old dudes trying to keep up with the young man's game. How can I help? So
But the
technically, you know, how can I make your thumbnails? You know, it's just like, you know,
the
whatever.
thing is, like, I think even though you say you're like the old dudes trying to keep up, we can't even keep up.
No.
And I think like as a musician in this like I call it like the post-pandemic shift because like the introduction of the infinite scroll that changed things for our brains. Like it actually rewired how we ingest things. And I really think that now with that it has changed the entire way that we as musicians have to share our art because it's not good enough to just put out a cool song anymore. And
Yeah.
I don't think like we never intended to wear all these different hats. And I say that like
You can't.
'cause I've been doing this for 15 years. Like I started red-handed denial. I started
11.
singing in red-handed denial when I was 17 years
Yeah,
old
it's been almost 12 years, right?
in 2008.
Oh, okay.
So
Because I remember y'all had the album in 2012.
yeah,
Like y'all had started as just a creative band, but the album came
yeah,
out. Yes, it's been a
we had an EP in 2009,
wow.
and I remember when MySpace was a thing. I remember when Facebook just started,
Yeah.
and you'd post something, and everyone who followed you would see it, and here's a cool song, go listen to it, and that was it. But now, like, it's become I'm like 20% music and 80% like look at me, and it's like it's exhausting, and we see the content that musicians make now, and then I go talk to them and they're like, yeah, I don't want to do that, I hate it. And
I don't envy you because I don't have to do that. I won't.
good.
Yes, my traction and my views are not like other people's, but that's not my goal. So I'm okay with I've resigned myself to that. But some people, this is their life.
Yes.
This is their passion. And I see the struggle. I don't know how they do it because it comes down to this. And after I say this point and you either agree or not, we need to go on to the last two songs because they're very important songs on this album.
Hmm.
Is if you remember back when it first started, we would post things hoping for our friends to like.
Yes.
Then it became the thumbs up and the likes of people all over the world. Now you're trying to appease an algorithm that isn't even real.
It's not
Well,
even
you went
real.
from trying to make your friends like something to everyone you'll never meet to people that don't exist. That's how far we've come.
It's very scary, and it's it's kind of meta. Like this album is a little bit meta in that way because as soon as we started rolling out the songs, I started making content that was very off-brand for me, like the whole like the sauce video and the misplaced screams
I love those.
videos.
Oh my God, love them.
Right. They're fun and I had fun making them, but they had a very specific intention behind them, and it was to prove that um algorithms don't actually want to show art anymore.
No.
And I would post a clip of like the actual high budget music video, and down to the actual analytic of the app showing it to your followers was a fraction of the amount when I would just do something stupid and film something with my phone and in like indirectly promote the song to you. And that's what this digital algorithm thing has become. And that's kind of what I'm trying to prove down to the content that I'm making. Like I'm very aware that it's like complete brain rot content, but I'm trying to prove that we've become these drones to something that doesn't exist. It's not real.
My biggest Instagram post of all time is 2 million views. It's completely nonsensical. I just yell and scream and go, "Oh my God, did you say this traffic is backed up on the interstate?" And I don't tell you where, when, it's just traffic backed up on the interstate, and I posted it. 2 million views. It's nonsensical. It was stupid. It had made no sense whatsoever. And it just got picked up because it was, oh, if something's going on. It's nonsensical. And then I try to make posts that are thought-provoking and funny and da-da-da-da. Nothing. I totally get what you're saying. Okay. I hope you're happy. I'm debating back and forth between One More Night and I Hope You're Happy is my favorite song for 2 different reasons. One More Night is one of my favorite musical compositions and dynamic of the album, which is one of the reasons why you love it as well. I Hope You're Happy is my favorite song because Chelsea's laying in bed. My wife, everybody, shut up, is laying down next to me and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm listening to this song." She goes, "But you keep listening to it." I was like, "Yeah." She goes, you have a cajon part for that thing, haven't you?" I was like, "Yes, I'm gonna go play it now." Like at 2 o'clock, like it, when I hear it, it just has this groove and it's got this smooth flow to it. And then at the end, it perfectly builds out. And so tell me about I Hope You're Happy.
So that was actually compositionally the problem child of the album.
That's why I love it.
We had every other song, and then we're like, we need one more song. What do we do? So we dug in Chris's archives and we found this one song originally called Clutch, and it had another vocalist on it. And we're like, this is beautiful. Like, let's take this and red-handed denialify it. So when we got to the bridge, I really wanted to build it out into this beautiful like breakout moment with the instrumental, and have that big moment, but it just didn't feel right. So it took 3 days to figure out how to do the crescendo part. Whereas like we did Parasite in 1 day. So it's like just one section took 3 days. And I think that just was the work and effort that went into I Hope You're Happy, because like obviously it's the first acoustic song we've had.
I love it. I love it because it's acoustic, but it's so layered. It's so elaborate. I was thinking, how can I play this on my cajon? But I need my shaker, but I need this. I can't. I need 4 hands. So
yeah,
I loved it. It's absolutely wonderful.
And we added all that after like having the demo, and yeah, it was totally the problem child. And I wrote all the lyrics and melodies in studio. Like I had nothing prepared, so it was scary. And I was like, I really want I Hope You're Happy to hit hard. So I had to go into places in my brain and in my past and trauma that I revisited all that. And I think I Hope You're Happy, just like my heart bleeds in that one a little more than usual. And that's like very close to One More Night for me, like as far as my favorite on the album, because it's so different. I think it's like, oh shit, we gotta grab the tissues again. Like let's go.
I hope you're happy. Just from the song title, you're like, oh, this is a breakup song, or it's this kind of whole situation. You just want to hug. But at the end of it, because it's red-handed denial, and y'all, like you said, you red-handed denialed after the bridge into the reprisal. It goes off. You're like, okay, well, it might be a hug, but it's not. It's still red-handed denial. Home. Okay. What's the situation with Home? Because I have thoughts about this song. But I want to hear what the story is of Home, and what the importance of the song for you on the album, and why is it last?
It's last because I think after all the roller coaster ride that you go on, it's kind of like that comfort space of like, okay, whenever we in our lives like experience a lot of chaos and discord, like we can always count on our close loved ones, whether it's like your family or your chosen family. Like you can always return back and like they can ground you. And Home is specifically about like leaving for tour and leaving your loved ones behind, and just like the sacrifices that a musician has to go through living this life, because it is a struggle. Like, we do sacrifice relationships, we sacrifice our personal life for the love of music. And so home is kind of like that struggle of like, I hear the music, but I also know that like the people I love are hurting, and maybe they don't quite understand, but I can always go back to them and always count on them at the end of the day. And like, that's what home is.
I think this song is probably one of the most important songs that Red Handed and I've ever done, and there's a particular reason. When I tell people about my favorite artists, you always have those songs that when I want somebody to go, hey, have you ever heard of Violet Orlandi? Here's a song. You ever heard of Lauren Babic? Here's the song. And it's always, I always do Easy on Me, your cover, first, because they know Easy on Me. So they can appreciate what you do for that song. Or Lovely. But home is yours. I'm not trying to, I discovered you as part of Crazy 88. Those amazing covers. Because I was doing this whole Our Last Night, Crazy 88, amazing metal covers. And I fell in love with it. I was like, who is this person? And then I see more of your stuff now, and everything you did with your your putting harsh vocals in places they don't believe, which I think is just hilarious. And congratulations on the Loudwire article. That was awesome.
Thank you.
You're the authority of the karaoke person, which is funny to me. Because you don't do karaoke. That ain't karaoke, girl.
I do IRL karaoke, which, like, I guess the covers are karaoke in a way, which, you know, it makes sense. But I thought the article was really fun. Like, I was like, oh, okay, let's make a list. I had fun with that one.
But all the times that I've shared your cover of Easy on Me for people, when I want to introduce you as a vocalist to people so they can have something they resemble, I really feel like home is so attuned to you. And because it's not a cover, it is an original. I just feel like it's that's the song that I want people to hear when I want them to hear your voice.
That's so nice. I love that.
And it was always Easy on Me and Lovely, but I just feel like home needs to be there because it's not you trying to create something that someone has made and turn it into Lauren's creation. This is Lauren's creation. So I think it's really important. And it's a wonderful story for home. All right, we've talked way too much. And so the album is out.
It's out.
I'm waiting for my vinyl. It's coming. And I will show it off. It's going to go on the wall, well, next to the plate. I know you guys are going to take a couple months to just reflect on everything that's happened so far. I know you guys, of course, you would love the perfect opportunity to come along to get back out again. It's very hard for a band that, of course, is still kind of semi-independent like you guys are, to find hey, here's this opportunity to go on tour, but does it fit with all of the members, their families, their time, and are we going to come home in a massive amount of debt, which we can't do these days? So we hope to see you soon in whatever iteration.
I also hope that. And I hope that, like, we can get that opportunity and it makes sense for everybody. And obviously we would love to have Gerard back out, and he's expressed that he will always be there for us, which is so wonderful. Like, he's such a good friend of ours, and yeah, we want to go back out as long as it makes sense and we're all good. I mean, we want to avoid burnout at all costs, because at the end of the day, like, our well-being comes first because we're a family, and I would hate to go out on tour when someone's not feeling their best. And
how are you feeling, by the way?
I feel great. Honestly, after the tour, I was surprised I didn't get sick. Knock on wood. I think I got all my sickness out from the time that I got everyone sick, and then we didn't play in Houston that one time. Yep. I think I got all my sick out on that tour because I thankfully came back home from this month of touring quite healthy, and I felt very good. I think the tour went super well, and everyone came home feeling really good. So
that tour was incredible. It was, and the thing about it is I had never seen Unprocessed live.
Oh, they're so good.
And when you see a band like that, I literally, when I went home and we went to go see Red Handed and Denial, the video, my first thing was I looked at the camera and said, okay, there's 100,000 of you in my community. Who the hell didn't tell me about Unprocessed over the last 3 years? Because I felt like I had missed out because they're so amazing live. And the lead singer of that band, when I made that comment to him after the show and you're standing next to him going, oh my God, I meant every word of that. Like, he got up there with that guitar and just him. And I was like, that dude is channeling Prince. His just beautiful tone with that guitar and just the way he was just flowing. I'm just like, that dude he's telling a story just by himself staying there. I was just blown away by that. So that was an amazing tour. I'm so excited that you guys had technically no really big problems except for those shows at the beginning that kind of, and that visa stuff is getting out of control. But anyway, new album is out. Lauren, thank you so much. Is there anything you want to let everyone know before you leave? Because you and your band, your bands, and all of your friends that you have, because you collaborate across, you have literally brought me on this journey where I've met so many bands because of you, and you don't even realize it. And it just seems like I'm so grateful to have gotten to meet you, and I wish nothing but the best for you. And if you ever need us, your girlfriend and I will get in the car and come running up to save the day. So is there anything you want to tell everybody out there before we end this?
Just thank you. Like, that's really it. Like, thank you for taking the time to listen to us and spend your precious time with us. And if you get around to listening to the album, just know a lot of love went into it. And I hope that you find some sort of connection with it, and if you don't, that's okay too. Just thank you for your time, because time is everything, and that's really it.
Most valuable thing we have. Everyone, the incomparable, amazing. Has anyone ever referred to you as the incomparable? I'll do it.
Incomparable.
The incomparable, amazing Lauren Babic. Everyone, she's not just a Bucky's meme or a inappropriate harsh vocal insert here artist. She's an incredible person. She's a loving songwriter and vocalist. We love you so much. Thank you so much, Lauren.
Love you guys. Thank you for everything.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a like. It really helps the channel grow. Also, if you want to subscribe, right over there. A big thank you to all my Patreons out there for everything you do. And if you want more content like this, check them out above. Remember, love one another, take care of each other. We're all stuck on this mud ball together. We'll see you later.